Trevor Sinclair, let's finish off today. Simon and I were talking about him earlier in the week with one Danny Murphy. Who were we talking about? We were talking about Raheem Sterling. Deal not done yet, but now that Todd Boehly's in there, it might get done. Todd Boehly now being in charge of transfers alongside the soon-to-be departing Marina Granitskaya. Raheem Sterling, if he heads to Chelsea, should he be commended? There was a huge reaction to this the other day. If he was to stay at Manchester City, he could be something of a bit part player. Should he be commended for wanting to be a regular starter and get a move to Chelsea?
Well, I don't think he should be commended. I think it's a reality of where he's at. You know, he doesn't feel valued at Manchester City enough, in my opinion. There's a contract on the table, renewal for him, that he's been offered. He's having a think about it. But the fact that he's thinking about it means he's thinking about leaving. And the reason he's thinking about leaving is not because he can't achieve everything at Manchester City. It's because he doesn't feel that he's valued enough, and he doesn't feel like on a World Cup year he's going to play enough football. Now, between the lines, we all know he's going to be in the England squad come the World Cup. But he doesn't want to be going into that cup competition and the World Cup without playing week in, week out, and right at it, sharp as a tack, playing his football. Now, you almost look at him and you think, how can that be possible, Raheem Sterling? For me, you look at his numbers at Manchester City and it's ridiculous. 225 appearances, 91 goals. It's superb for a winger. You know, remember, he's not a centre forward. He could have had more than that. We know he's missed chances, but he's been such a consistent performer. Now, going to Chelsea, yeah, I think it's dangerous for Manchester City to let him go to Chelsea. Not because Chelsea are rivals, because I think you look at Chelsea, Lukaku, Azpilicueta looks like he's going to Spain. Possibly one of the best defenders in the league last year. He's gone to Real Madrid. Rudiger. Christensen's gone to Barcelona. And I kind of predicted all this on this show to Simon months and months and months ago. And Simon was kind of arguing the toss that they'll get it sorted. But I didn't think they could because of the delaying tactics that were going on. They've ended up leaving.
Get what sorted?
They'll either sign a new contract, or once the administration's or the situation with the football club is sorted out, they will be offered new contracts and they'll probably stay. I don't think
Trevor's actually right on that. You did push back in that.
No, I didn't. I said if they wanted to sign these players, they'd have signed them in the summer before all these problems blew up. Clearly, the Chelsea were relaxed about it. Rudiger, Azpilicueta, whoever else it was that were setting contracts, and Christensen. I said clearly, if Chelsea wanted to have done this business, they had the summer with Tuchel to have done it. They didn't. They let it drift. And when the situation blew up in January,
I don't think the choice was theirs. I think when you let a player get down to his last year, every kind of power that the football club did have has gone. So they messed them both about. They dropped Rudiger. They dropped Christensen.
It's universally accepted that the girl that was running the transfer policy at Chelsea was very good at her job. So make our minds up. If she was good at her job, she wouldn't have let the contracts run down to the last year. There was a lot of questions about Rudiger because of the Lampard regime. There was a lot of questions about Christensen. They came good under Tuchel. There were offers made to Christensen. Christensen reneged on the contract because Thomas Tuchel came out and said, I'm not prepared.
Which to me screams alarm bells. He didn't want to stay because he's 1 minute he's agreeing, next minute he's just delaying, next minute. Well, because it sounded to me straight away the player wants to leave, which he's done.
And that's fine. Players want to leave.
Eden
Hazard wanted to leave. But Chelsea still won, the Champions League the season after he left.
But we've gone off piece anyway. We've gone off piece.
Will we see the best of Raheem Sterling? And you did say that to Trevor, incidentally. Denying things. I mean, it's just
going back to Raheem Sterling.
I ordered soup a little while ago. No, you didn't.
But what am I being accused of saying? I said that Chelsea clearly didn't want to deal with these situations, otherwise they would have dealt with them, and they clearly didn't attach any priority to it.
Right.
Going to Raheem Sterling, look, I don't know. I mean, Sterling to me, myself and Trevor disagree on the principle as a player. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's a world-class player. If he's not good enough for Man City, or to get in their starting lineup, as he would appear to want to be in, as most footballers should, is he going to be a solution provider for Chelsea? I mean, I don't know, Trevor. Do you think it's a good move for Raheem himself to go to somewhere like Chelsea?
I would say no, because I don't think they're going to be competitive with Manchester City and possibly Liverpool next season. I think they've lost players. The club's in a little bit of a sticky situation, a transitional situation at the moment where they've lost a lot of players. They've got to do a lot of rebuilding and they've got a new man at the helm to do that. I know you mentioned Mourinho staying at the football club to go through this transfer window, but I think there's a hell of a lot of work for Chelsea to do to be in the same position as they were this time last season, where they looked strong, they looked like they were getting Lukaku in, it looked like it could be a real title charging side. It didn't end up being like that because of probably a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons was Romelu Lukaku. But going back to it, listen, Raheem Sterling's a quality player. He's a quality operator in the Premier League. I think if Usain Dembele goes there, he was looking at a move to Bayern Munich. He might end up. That might not end up happening because of Sadio Mane. He might end up going there. All of a sudden, you've got a completely new attacking line. They could do something, but I would be concerned letting Raheem Sterling go to a competitor because he's 27 years old. He's got a fire in his belly and he feels like he's not been valued off.
Trevor, I want to ask you one final one, and there were quite a number of comments about this the other day. I think it was back, when was it, Luke? 2018. You probably recall it, Trevor. Raheem was the subject of some racist abuse when he was playing a match at Stamford Bridge. Tiny minority of Chelsea fans involved. In fact, if I remember rightly, one of them came to air with us and virtually apologised on air. I kind of lost it for a moment, and I'm really sorry for what I shouted at Raheem. It seems he's willing to. Would you join a club where previously you'd suffered a bit of racist abuse?
Well, why would I let tiny minority of ignorant people stop me making a move that I want to make? I heard rumours before I went to West Ham from Queen's Park Rangers that there could be a bit of racism in the terraces, at the chicken run and things like this. I couldn't have been welcomed more to Upton Park from the fans when I arrived. It did help that I scored a brace on my debut, but it was a fantastic time that I had in my career. And I would say, don't let the minority win. That's my opinion. Raheem, I'm sure he's got his own mentality, but if I was being asked that question, I did get asked that question. I went. I was welcomed with open arms by the West Ham fans, and it was probably one of the best moves he ever made.
Good to hear. Trevor, perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. Sinclair. Are you out wielding a golf club this afternoon?
Well, it's my 21st wedding anniversary today, so I'm going to take my beautiful wife out for a nice lunch, and we're going to reminisce about when we were like young teenagers, and it's been a lot of water under the bridge. Well
done, Simon. I have to say, and I'll let all the listeners in on this, I met Trevor's beautiful wife with Trevor outside the news building here at London Bridge the other day. The two of you were walking hand in hand. You only had eyes for each other, and I looked at you both and I thought, there's a couple who are on the brink of being married for 21 years, and I applauded you. Do you remember that? And you both walked Jim, right by me.
No, we didn't. We stopped and had a little chat.
You're a lovely man. Trevor Sinclair. Can't say that about this fella. See you tomorrow.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.